All right, so my live was definitely interrupted by my son. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Let me All right. Okay. So yeah, my live was definitely interrupted. I thought I was gonna have enough time to go live. Like I said, y'all, I've been busy. Okay. My son's best friend since preschool is having his sweet 16 party. Is having a sweet 16 party, so I'm being nice and letting him go. Okay. Definitely being nice and letting him go. But anyway. So I pulled a couple cards before I left, right? I pulled a couple cards before I left, so I'll just give y'all this intuitive reading. All right, I'll give y'all this intuitive reading because in intuitive reading, you really don't need cards. All right, when you know how to read the energy, when you know how to deliver the message from divine, you use your tools as a backup to back up everything that you're saying. Okay, so I really just have to follow these directions by hearing them. That's key right there. So anyway, so my Durga divine has really been giving us messages of like she's not tearing apart, but like she's making rearrangements. She's making arrangements in your life, moving people around, moving energies around. And that's kind of like what I was saying before I started pulling cards anyway. Like when you just do the work, when you're just doing the work, she started making arrangements in your life for things to happen. And it may look like she's like reconstructing, deconstructing a whole lot of things, and you might not be prepared for that. Things start happening very fast. Things that's been taking years to shake out of your energy, it really just starts like, okay, people moving away, moving out your way. Even some people that you like, I always wanted this person to be in my life or to be by me or to like I always thought that I was gonna have this person in my life or whatnot. And then when spirits start, rearranging, when they start rearranging things, 222, all right, 222 up there. All right, don't come on here spamming. All right, don't do it. And y'all, let's get some likes. Okay, let's get some likes. Even though I don't think y'all can see the likes or whatnot, but let's get some likes up there. I think I got it turned off so people can't see the likes. Okay, because we're not even moving off of whether people like us or not. We moving off of whether people listening or not. The energy, the message, and that's just how it's gonna be from here on out. I don't give a fuck if y'all like me or not. Turn right onto Fort Loop West. I don't really care if y'all like me or not. I'm still I'm still gonna be me. I'm still gonna show up. I'm still gonna do what spirit tells me to do. I'm still gonna drop these messages. So whether y'all like me or not, it's not gonna change anything. So anyway, so spirit is like moving things around for you, rearranging your life, rearranging like even the way your house look, the way you've been carrying yourself. So spirit is like moving things around. Got it. Yeah, for sure. Do more self-care. Take care of yourself. When you take care of yourself, the divine takes care of you even more. Okay? Because the thing is, our body is our temple. Our body is our temple. So if you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not, and I'm not talking about you, but I'm just talking about in general. Like, and that's what spirit wants you to focus on. They don't want you to focus on. I came on here and gave a message of, I came on here and I had gave a message of like, there's an energy that wants you to be distracted, and they're upset. Literally, they're upset that you're not showing attention to them. Let me get off and on the side of this Amazon truck because baby, he's swerving. And obviously he don't know how to stay in his lane. I don't know how he got to drive that big old truck. Exit 11 toward I-10 West. And I'm gonna get right on over here because he's speeding. Well, they tell me to take I-10 West. My son got me driving all the way to the Heights. Okay. So anyway, yeah, like there's energy out there that's like, no. You get hidden from my channel if you come on here saying hi to me too many times. Like, you don't need to do that. I told y'all I'm not on here to play games with people. Like, you say hi to me too many times, I'm gonna block you from my channel. Like, I see your first hi. Like, why are you doing that? I'm not even one of those type of spiritualists like that you can even just be doing that with. Like, I'm no. This light is even bothering me. But anyway.
Third lane from right.
Second or third lane from right. What? I-10, where am I at? Let me see where I'm at. Okay. I need to go I-10 east. Okay, I need to go east. This one I'm at 610. Yeah, I need to go I-10 east.
Past this exit, then use the right 2 lanes to take exit 11 toward I-10 West.
Come on.
Use the right 2 lanes to take exit 11 toward I-10 West.
Oh no, you know what? I need to go west.
In 1.5 miles, keep right onto I-10 West toward San Antonio.
West. So yeah, so it's like little bitter energy that's like, oh, I thought I was gonna be able to play in your energy forever. I thought I was gonna always have your attention. I thought you were going to always stay focused on me. And I could tell, you know, it's so crazy because like a couple times I've been thinking about my YouTube, right? I've been thinking about my YouTube. I've been thinking about the people that's on my YouTube, whether y'all acknowledge it or not, whether I come up, you know, like that just come across my feed, come across my channel. And I've really been thinking about it. And I'm like, I need to do nothing but stay half black and die, okay? But I be getting this thought in my head that tell me like, oh, I need to do a live, I need to check in with everybody. But you know, then I'll have a dream. Or I'll talk to spirit, and spirit say, you know, you can't hold everybody's hand. You know, I'm giving a lot on my YouTube. And the other thing is that, you know, spirit has kept me so independent that I don't depend on any type of
5.7 miles.
Like, I have a real, and this, I'm not shading anybody, right? I'm not shading anybody, but the dream that I had last night, this is going to sound like shade, and y'all can take it however y'all want. It just depends on the type of vibration that you're in, that you're going to be able to handle this message that I'm getting ready to say, right? I am not dependent on anything that is under someone else's control. Like, for example, YouTube, right? My money, the money that I make, I have a different type of talent that's not what I have a talent that no CEO can feel some type of way and decide, you know what, I don't want this tech, TECH, I don't want this technology to exist anymore amongst the people. Or let's say whoever owns YouTube decide, shit, they're gonna fucking die, right? Like, the CEO, and then it becomes this
crash reported ahead on Kitty Freeway at half a mile.
Crash
the fastest route.
Crash reported ahead. So they decide like, okay, well, I'm gonna take this away, and I'm not gonna be able to You know, and then the person that owns the business or that's making majority of their money from YouTube, like how are y'all gonna survive? Like you can't survive off of somebody else's dream. Okay? It's just no way that you can do that. And so the things that I really been sharing with people, my ears are ringing so bad. The things I've been sharing with people is like, you have to go to divine and you have to see what your true calling is. And that's been the biggest thing. You know, in the last 4 or 5 years, I've had run-ins and bump-ins with spiritualists that have solely built their business off of the internet alone. Their whole life consists of being on the internet. Everything. Y'all arguing, we're arguing amongst each other to stay relevant. You know, and it's just like, are you building any real true connections in real life? Like in real life. Like if this shit was to fall down. Like y'all just never know. You have construction going on in one of the oldest houses that has existed, one of the oldest foundations, right? So you have Saturn and you have Jupiter entering into Pisces and Pisces, I'm talking about Pisces, I'm sorry, into Cancer, right? Which is the 4th house, right? You have construction, deconstruction. Somebody is knocking down part of the White House to build a ballroom somewhere where people dance at. Not an office space where we're negotiating something, but literally somewhere where people, you know, have fun at. So at any moment, someone can make a joke and say, you know what? I'm tired of the people that's on the internet making more money than my children to come. And so I'm going to change up the rules and the regulations and all of this other stuff so that they can no longer make money from here. And what are you going to do? You know, I love everybody. I don't have no problem against nobody. But what I'm saying, I'm talking about the foundation. I'm talking about somebody literally waking up with a different type of dream. Because Trump has a different dream. He's building a ballroom that will literally, it won't be done. You know, I watched the hold on y'all, let me turn this navigation off. I know exactly where I'm at now. You know, I watched the I didn't watch the whole news conference. I don't even watch whole news conferences. Okay, I watch clips when it comes to stuff. But he's building a ballroom that he's not even trying to be a part of. And let me not even say he's not trying to be a part of the history, but he said he's not gonna name it after him, right? He like, okay, I'm not gonna name this ballroom after me. It's not gonna be the Trump ballroom or whatever the case is, right? It's not about that. It's literally just something that he wanted to do. He like, okay, what are we doing over here? We're gonna build something else over here in the East Wing. And so, you know, at first he said that he wasn't going to touch any part of the foundation of the White House, right? And then all of a sudden y'all see the bulldozers and they taking down part of it and whatnot. So I'm just saying, like, you know, Trump is the CEO, so whatever his plans is, okay, baby, he got it. All right, that's his house right now, and he's in charge of his house. He can do whatever he wants to his house. If he want to change that shit up, then he gonna change that shit up, and that's his house. Nobody can you know, say anything to him. All right, nobody can say anything to him. I don't know what his real true intentions is behind it. Okay, maybe it's just something that he always wanted to do, and he was like, yeah, whenever I get a hold of this particular part of this house, I'm gonna build me a ballroom over here, you know. So that's his own business. But what I'm talking about is the foundation of our businesses, of our lives, you know. Like how is spirit reconstructing our life around to make room for something, not only just make room for something new, but also make room so that we have space to dance, to play, to build a lasting foundation where nobody can come in and, you know, take our shit away. And I'm gonna be real honest, like the internet, it's not it. It's not it. It's not it. You know, y'all. I got Aquarius and Jupiter. So, I mean, as long as it exists, I'm going to be on this bitch. But I'm just saying, I'm lately, and I think this message is for my spiritualists. I really think that this message is for my spiritualists, for my healers, for those that play a position that exists only online. We had a lot of tech jobs, a lot of work from home jobs that came through. Now, it's not a lot of people that can find work from home jobs. I don't know a lot of people. I used to know a lot of people working from home, and then they got real comfortable, and now all of a sudden they like, well, I'm unemployed and I can't find a job. No, there's a lot of jobs out there for people to go and get. You just have to get out there and you have to go back to work. Like, you have to go back to work. Property, that's what I'm working on. I'll build the house myself. Exactly. But that's a lasting foundation. Like, if you're gonna buy something, buy some property. The internet, trying to build a business strictly online is like you buying trying to build a business strictly online is like you buying a house, right, in another country and never truly going to that. You like, oh yeah, I just bought. Oh, you know what this reminds me of? Of people buying. God, this brain is crazy. Of people buying property on Mars. Did y'all know that they're selling land on Mars? Like, how the fuck are you buying land on Mars? Y'all, I can't make this shit up. They're buying land on Mars. And I'm like, y'all don't even know, like, I don't know if I should like really say this, but a lot of these planets, y'all, we don't touch these planets. We do not touch these planets. These planets are occupied by gods, by be mad at me for saying this, but demigods, demons. Okay, a lot of these planets, even here on Earth, there's a part of Earth that we cannot touch. There's a part of Earth that we cannot go to. There's a part of Earth that we can't, like, travel to, because shit, the minute that you start, like Mount Kailash, for example, right? Mount Kailash, out there in the Himalayas. This is where Lord Shiva and Parvati and their family lives, is on Mount Kailash, right? Nobody has been able to travel up this mountain, up the mountain. Okay, every time somebody get closer to the mountain or whatnot, they die. Okay, they start aging very fast, and then they end up dying within a year. Okay, and that's a known fact. Even the government over there in the Himalayas, they have banned people from hiking up this mountain, because it's been a known fact that if you start hiking up this mountain, the further you get up, you start aging years. Like, you basically age 20 years in advance. So it's parts of the world right now, parts of the world that us humans cannot touch. So let alone thinking that we are going to the motherfucking Mars. Like, that we're going to Mars. Like, how are y'all selling land that is owned by somebody else? Y'all gonna fucking die. Y'all are gonna fucking die. And Spirit is gonna say, bitch, you bought property on you bought property in Mars. I'm about to send you there to live for a couple years. And you gonna be mad as fuck. You gonna be mad as fuck because your ass gonna be trapped on hot ass fucking Mars. Is Mars hot? I think Mars is hot. Okay? Damn, I'm hopping the curve. You're gonna be trapped on Mars, and you're gonna be like, damn, so God, you ain't gonna let me reincarnate? He gonna tell you, you shouldn't have been fucking greedy. You shouldn't have been greedy. You should have just build where you're at. Build in the foundation. So y'all let these CEOs, these internet CEOs and these internet tech people trick y'all out of y'all spot, where you could be building where you're at. Florida is trying to vote on not paying property tax. Florida is trying to vote on not paying property taxes. Values are about to go up. I didn't understand why you have to pay taxes. I don't really get into all of that, but that's my husband. Look, that's my husband job. I'm gonna be honest. That's my husband department. I never understood why you have to pay taxes when you own your house. Like I don't understand why somebody should have to pay taxes and they own their house. You got to pay when the water makes up. You got to pay. Like, I understand paying a water bill because the water bill come from the city or whatever the case is, right? Or wherever the water come from. But I never understood like paying taxes and then like how much they charge for fucking taxes. Like, we have land. We have land somewhere in another state, right? Like, we have family land. And when I look at the taxes on the family land over the years, it was like, and I know the value of money has completely changed. But it used to be like when they first, quote unquote, started paying taxes or whatnot and having people pay taxes, it was like $12. Like, it was like $12. Now it's like 1,200. And I'm like, why? Why? Like, what is, y'all don't come out and cut the grass. Y'all don't come out and do anything. Y'all don't make sure that the water is running fine. Hell, you're barely testing the damn water. You barely testing the water. You built all of these like buildings and shit around it. And I don't understand why we are paying taxes on property that we own. Like, I just don't understand it. Okay. And then, you know what's the crazy part is, right? So you can own your apartment complex. I mean, not your apartment complex, your apartment building. Like, I'm gonna give an example, right? Like, here in Texas, I'm in Texas, right? So you will own a townhouse. The townhouse is attached to another townhouse and another townhouse and another townhouse. They're all attached. What are you paying property taxes? Like, what are you paying property taxes on? I don't understand that. Like, I really just don't understand that. But anyway, I ain't even gonna get too far into that because that's not my forte. That's not my thing. My thing is telling y'all that at the end of the day, y'all need a backup plan. It needs to be a backup plan, and the backup plan has to be the first plan. And the first plan that Divine is telling me to share with people is that, nobody can take from you if you really truly have it. Like, if you really truly got it, nobody can take from you. Nobody can take nothing from you if you really truly got it. The only thing that can be taken, and the reason why people feel, the only thing that can truly be taken is the shit that's just built. Like, let me speak properly. Right? Let me speak properly about this. So, dear Divine, just give me the keys and the words to express myself correctly here, okay? So, for example, right? When I was heavy spiritual attacks, right? I felt like maybe it was like another spiritualist like trying to steal my energy, right? I would feel like, okay, well, this spiritualist is trying to be me, you know? And then the more I got into my work and stopped doing so much shit online, right? And I really started like healing in person more. I started meeting other spiritualists, meeting other let's cut this ear off. Okay. Like me, other spiritual, not just like regular spiritualists, but like my elders, right? I started meeting with my elders. I knew that I didn't know everything, right? And so I started asking God. I started asking divine, the divine mother in God. I started asking them for my destiny helpers, right? I started asking them to put me in alignment with my healing path, because I know that I'm a natural healer, right? I know that I'm a natural healer. I know that I have the gift of insight, all right? And again, like I said, I think I'm talking to my spiritualist here. So if this message, if you're not a spiritualist, if you're not a healer, this message might not make a lot of sense to you, okay? But if so, y'all just bear with me, right? Okay. So I start asking spirit to put me in alignment with my path, right? And so the very first person that I ran into put me on the divine feminine journey. Okay, the sacred woman journey. All right, so everybody knows who Queen of Fool is. If you don't know who Queen of Fool is and you call yourself a spiritualist, you lacking something. Okay, you lacking that feminine mother healing. Okay, everybody know who Queen of Fool is. All right, especially if you go to ATR religions or anything like that. You know who she is. You should know who your elders are in certain pantheons, right? Just like if you say that you are an occultist, or you say that you practice any, y'all should know who like Bobby Hemmett is, right? Everybody know who Bobby Hemmett is, right? And so if you don't know who Bobby Hemmett is, then y'all, this is the greatest Sagittarius, one of the greatest Sagittarius that ever lived besides myself, right? And so anyway, so when I asking for like my destiny helpers, actually, you know what? Let me take that back. When I was asking for my destiny helpers and spirit was telling me what way to go, the very first person that showed up for me was my sister. Okay, was my own sister, my big sister. Okay, my family, my mother. Okay, hey girl, hey. And so when I asked for guidance, like, okay, I need to be guided into my path, something that's stable, right? And so my sister showed up for me. Unbeknown to her, she showed up, and myself, and she was like, okay, spiritually, my ears started ringing. Spiritually, I know that like I have past lives, right? That I have tapped into, and I know that my sister has always been as spiritual as I am, right? She's the Aries, I'm a Sagittarius. Like we're like this, all right? We like this. And neither one of us have a crazy Leo placement, all right? I have Leo in the 10th house and she has Leo in the 5th house, all right? So we're literally sitting on that Aries and Sagittarius energy hard, like hard. And so she showed up for me. That was the first person that showed up for me. Then she said, okay, we're going to go to the sacred woman. We're going to go on the sacred woman journey. All right. So we tapped in with the divine feminine energy first. Now, her being strong masculine energy, Aries energy, of course, that fire comes out automatically. That masculinity comes out automatically. Even when she wants to balance it out, she really has to dig deeper into it. Me, I'm Sagittarius. I'm like half man, masculine energy, half animal. So I also have to dig into my feminine energy as well too, because we don't have those strong Leo placements. Not having a strong Leo placement makes us very masculine, okay? Very masculine. All right. And so anyway, and so I start asking spirit from the very beginning. I start asking spirit, like, you know what? Let me back this up. Actually, before I was asking spirit all of that, I was like, damn, I really like channeling energy. I like, this sound crazy. This sound crazy, but again, I'm only talking to my spiritualists, the ones that can understand this, right? I like spirits. I like spirits. This sounds crazy, but I like going in between pantheons and talking to spirits. All right? I like that stuff. I like the feeling that I get. It's like I don't want to even I don't even want to call it like a high, right? Because I think calling it a high would make it a little disrespectful, because I never had to. I'm learning it. It's learning if the Sag placement, okay? Um, it's definitely the Sag placement. The Sag Pisces placement, actually, that Jupiter placement, right? Um, that Jupiter energy. And so it's like I never smoked weed. I never smoked weed until I was older. I just told my son this too, and I tell y'all this all the time. Like, I never smoked weed until I was older. And actually, I smoked weed when I was going through um spiritual, like a spiritual attack. Okay? And in order for me not to hex a hoe, right? I was like, oh, I need to calm down. I need to calm down, because it had nothing to do with the spirits that I was tapping in with. It had something to do with my own self, right? And I kept hearing two different things. I hear my own voice saying, God forgives all. No sin is bigger than no other sin. This is the things that I learned myself. And I do know that no sin, that if I steal a piece of candy bar, I know for a fact that it's no different if I steal something constantly out of a store. I don't want to say a candy bar, not just one candy bar. I'm gonna have to like steal something. If I hijack a car, right? If I hijack a car and I take somebody's car, which is crazy because this happened in my dream. If I take a car, uh, I'm causing some type of damage to someone. If I take that car, I'm causing some type of damage. They're gonna wake up. They're not gonna have their car. They're gonna have to call in from work. Who knows? They could be starting a new job. Now they got to call in. They get in trouble. They got fired because they're on probation at their job. Whatever it is. I never know whose day I am ruining by stealing their car, right? And so the other thing is, I never know, if I hex somebody, it's the same karma. It's the same karma. So I'm hearing that on one end, but then on the other end, I'm hearing it's deeper than this. It's deeper than this, right? It goes deeper than this. So I have the assignment of, because I asked Spirit, okay, point me in the way of my assignment. Okay? Point me towards my assignment. And so Spirit kind of laid it out for me very early on what the assignment was, right? And this was when I first started my journey. I'll never forget the first spirit, the first deity. I'm going to say deity because this is beyond a spirit. This is a deity that sat in front of me. I'll never forget this. That sat in front of me and said, spiritual enlightenment. Let's go. And I'm like, I need something big. I need to know a little bit more than that before I get to go. And I was in sleep paralysis. I don't want to say sleep paralysis, but I think this is what I learned what the word was. But like, I was stuck. I couldn't move. I wanted to jump out of my body. I was meditating. I wasn't doing mantras. I was meditating. And it took me a lot of days to get to this part. A lot of days, y'all. A lot of days, a lot of nights to get to this part of my meditation where I had nothing in my mind except going into a conference room with my spirit guides. Every time it will always be distractions. I'll be like, did I put the laundry in the washing machine? Did I put it in the dryer? Did my sons eat tonight? Oh, I gotta go do this. I gotta do that. Every time I was meditating. So it took me a lot of days and a lot of nights to finally come to divine and close my eyes, walk into the CEO room that I own, and call a conference with my spirit team. Without ego. I never knew. I will always say, can my highest vibrational deities step forward? Okay? And so when that particular deity stepped forward, I was very shocked. And the other thing is too, as the time progressed, other deities have came forward, but I know the very first deity that came to me that said spiritual enlightenment. So as I continue to learn about other pantheons, right, and other spirits have taken control of my body, and this is what I'm talking about, being high, right? And it's not a high, but I enjoy this part of the deity talking through me, of me. Y'all, sometimes I don't even remember, like, I be in ritual or I be in ceremony or whatnot, and I don't remember none of that stuff. Y'all seen the lighting? I don't remember none of that stuff, but I be then pass the message on to somebody, right? And then there are some messages that I do remember when they're for certain people that I'm going to continue to interact with, that I'm going to continue to have a relationship with. Spirit will continue to use me as a vessel. So this is a part of going higher. Y'all, I don't have a gift that nobody else can't have. And so when it came to like other people, quote unquote, stealing from me, you can't really steal from me for real, because, you know, like, you really have to do the work. You can act like the messages and the downloads and the awakenings and the initiations that I personally have went through, you can act like and pretend like you have went through them, you know, not you, but like the spiritualists, whoever it is that's stealing from us, they can act like they've been through those things, but it's something that, like, it's something that they don't have. So they can have all of the credit online. They can have all of the credit online, y'all. I literally washed my hands of that. I washed my hand, y'all. And that was one of the hardest things that I had to, like, come to realize, is that I can't control the people online pretending to be something that they're not. Like, it must really sucks to wake up knowing that you're not authentic. And I feel bad. I feel so bad. Like, I don't feel bad, you know, but like, I be feeling some type of way. Like, damn, like when they really look in the, hey, Lori Boo, hey. I'm like, when they really look in the mirror, like, they're not authentic. And so, like, I asked Spirit, this is, y'all, when we was doing the mirror rituals, right? I asked Spirit to show me how to remove doppelgangers out of my dream state, out of my husband dream state, out of my community losers in their own story, girl. Look, how to remove doppelgangers out of their energy, out of y'all energy, or whatever the case is, right? And I keep this, this is all on my page too, because I want y'all to be able to go back and literally use the sigils, use the rituals, everything that I've done to remove a doppelganger out of our energy. Like, I share about me, I dream about you, and sometimes our dream times. Last night I dreamed of my sister, a spiritualist, a old co-worker, a old schoolmate, I guess, right? In the dream. I also woke up at 5:14, which is my son's birthday. I woke up at 5:14, and on my phone it said a tornado warning, right? And when I woke up, my husband asked me, he was like, I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and he was like, you good? I'm like, yeah, you good? And so he was like, I had a bad dream. And I was like, what was it about? He was like, I had a dream you was leaving me. And you was just waiting. He said that I was waiting on somebody better. I was like, only God could come and take me from you. And even if God came and took y'all, I'm a smooth talker, okay? I'm a smooth talker, but let me just talk. Let me just say what I said. She said, dang, that rain came fast, so fast, right? I feel bad because my son, man, he was insisting on wearing these flip-flops to the party. And I'm like, you need real shoes on. It's about to rain. But anyway, so my husband had this dream. And I was leaving him. He was like, it was a bad dream. I couldn't go back to sleep. And so I was like, what was it about? And so he was like, I was leaving him and I was waiting on somebody better. And I was just sticking with him until somebody better came along. And I told him, only God is better than what I have. Like, only God is better than what I have right now. I know that sounds crazy, but there's not. My husband treats me like a queen. He very well. Y'all know I be gloating on here. I prayed for the relationship that I have. And I got it because prayer works, okay? And so I asked him, I said, are you happy? He said, yeah. I was like, well, I'm happy too. And even if you would have said no, I was like, you would have fooled me. I was like, because I'm happy than a motherfucker. I was like, I'm happy than a motherfucker. He was like, I don't know why. He was like, I don't know why I've been having them type of dreams. And I was like, when you have dreams like that, you have to let me know so I could rearrange our bed. I said, you have to let me know so I can rearrange our bed. So when he have dreams that cross into my dream. So in my dream, I had a dream that a spiritualist stole my car. Okay? A spiritualist stole my car, but it was an electric car where the battery had died. Okay? And we pulled into a jail. And what I said was, let me take all of my gifts out of this car so nobody can steal it. So I already had an insight in the dream. I had an insight in the dream that there was going to be a spiritualist trying to steal my gifts, right? So, but I took them out. We stopped at a jail. I put them inside of a jail cell. I put my gifts inside of a jail cell, meaning I sealed my energy in my dream and a jail. And it sounds bad, but I actually had free access to this jail, right? And then I felt a very protective energy. Like I started getting motherly and protective in my dream, right? And so my sister was like, oh, I'm going to call somebody to charge our battery, which was an old schoolmate. Okay, so he called my old schoolmate, y'all. So this means that I'm actually outside of the school, the spiritual school. I'm outside of the spiritual school and I'm tapping into applying my... Listen, in the jail have high security, which is true. There was a patrol officer. Girl, you is so on point. High security. There was a patrol officer at the door where we had to check in at. And I was like, well, I need to bring my gifts inside. And they was like, well, we got to search your gifts. So they did like a little scan over the gifts. Never like going through them or anything like that. And they was like, you're clear. But we're going to give you a bunk. Like a bunk bed, a jail cell that had a bunk bed, and they was like, take the top bunk. Okay, which means that I had like some type of authority, because you get authority inside of a jail when you get the top bunk. Never the, like not the which is crazy because, you would think like on the bottom bunk they got authority or whatnot, but the top bunk, you can see everything that's happening. You can see everything that's happening. Somebody coming in, you can hurry up and see stuff that's happening or whatever the case is. And the top bunk actually had it had a cover. It had everything on it. Everything else was like bare inside of this jail. So I was able to hide my gifts up under a blanket. Okay? I was able to hide my gifts up under a blanket. But the jail had people coming in and out or whatnot. Like the jail, they had people coming in and out. And so I started feeling this protective energy. I started feeling like this protective energy because my sister outside making phone calls. And the other thing too was I could see everything that was happening. Everything that was happening. So at the beginning of the dream, I had a coworker that was riding in the car with us, right? I'm driving. my sister in passenger, the co-worker in the back seat, and we was in a Nissan Rogue. Okay, I remember it saying a Rogue. Okay, it was a white Nissan Rogue. So white is also protective energy as well too. So this being my spirit vehicle, where I say I do not ride in cars with other people. This is not me riding. This is actually me driving. Okay, this is me driving. I'm not being driven by anybody else. I'm the driver of this vehicle, of this spirit vehicle. Okay, and so my coworker is sitting behind me and she say, let me out at the corner. And I say, no, you need to get out somewhere that's safe. You can get out when we get to the jail, or when we get to the it's a jail, but it was also a police station. So it's a jailhouse that was attached to a police station. It reminds me of this jail in Detroit. It reminds me of this jail that sits on Gratiot and Van Dyke in Detroit. It might not even be there anymore, but it used to be on Van Dyke and Gratiot in Detroit. And I used to catch a bus that crossed right there, so I know exactly how the jail looked. But with a police station, but it's a jail in the back of the police station. And so anyway, so I tell her, I said, no, you need to get out when we get to the thing. I can't let you out at the corner. So when we get to the police station, that's when I let her out. She leave. She go with somebody else. She out of the dream. It's gone. So now it's the spiritualist, it's my sister, and it's me. So my sister is like, I'm going to call somebody to come charge our battery. I'm like, cool. So I put the keys in my pocket. Okay, I put the keys in my pocket. It's an electric car. I don't know why I had keys, but I guess I had keys, okay? But I put the keys in my pocket. Maybe it was a hybrid. I don't know. If they have Nissan hybrids, I don't know. But anyway, so I started feeling protective while I'm in this dream. But I tell my sister, she like, well, I'm going to step outside. I don't know what the spiritualist was doing. I wasn't really paying a lot of attention to her, right? But my sister is like, I'm going to call somebody to charge our battery. And I'm like, okay. So I was like, okay, I put the gifts on the top bunk. I covered them with a blanket. And then I'm laying on top of the gifts on top of that, right? I'm laying on top of them. I don't know what they wore, but I'm laying on top of the gifts, right? And I'm laying like this. And I'm like, I'm going to fall asleep in my dream. I'm going to fall asleep. I'm going to take a nap. So I'm laying there and I'm taking a quote unquote nap. And in my dream, within a dream, I start dreaming about something else, which was so weird. I started dreaming about something else. I'm not going to say what it was, but it was a deity, right? In my dream. And so as I'm laying there, I start feeling very protective, and I sense that there is a kid coming. So this young boy comes, right? A young boy, maybe he's a teenager, maybe he's like, 16, 17, 18, very young though, very younger than me, right? He comes, and I was like, what's up? Like, why are you climbing up onto the top bunk? And he was like, can I stay up here with you? And I was like, hey, you cannot steal my gifts. He was like, ma'am. And I feel this protective, safe energy with him. And then he was like, ma'am, I just need to stay up here because if I go down there with them, they're going to mess with me. And I look down and it's a whole bunch of other type people. I don't know, right? And so I was like, yeah. He was like, I just need to sleep. I haven't slept for days, right? And so I was like, man, you better not try to steal none of my gifts, so I'm going to have to hurt you. And so he was like, no, ma'am, not me, right? And so I'm like, okay. So again, I zone into this bird's eye view of everything that's happening. And I see my sister outside, but I also see the car is gone. The car is gone. Mind y'all, the battery died, but the car is gone. So I'm like, where the fuck is the car? I dig into my pocket. I have the keys. And I'm like, the fuck happened to the car? So I go outside. I tell the boy, like, wash the gifts. I go outside and I'm like, Mandy, what happened to the car? She was like, that fucking bitch stole the car. So I was like, let me hit the alarm, right? So I hit the alarm. And I'm like, the battery dead, so the alarm might not go off. But I hit the alarm 3 times. 1, 2, 3. I hit the alarm. And then I get another bird's eye view, and I see that the car is 3 blocks over. I hit the alarm 3 times, and the car, I'm like, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the car is 3 blocks over. My sister is like, bet. Guess what? Now you can get your lame ass off my channel. So I was like, okay, look. You gone forever. You ain't never got to listen to nothing on this channel ever again. Congratulations, you win. So so I'm like, all right, it's 3 blocks over, right? So I'm like, okay. We just got a alert that it's been a child abduction. 11-year-old. Lord, please let that baby be returned safely. That's crazy. Hold on one second. Oh, it's they dad took them. So so I'm like, okay. My sister was like, you know what, bet, let's go get the car. Andre about to pull up. And that's my old schoolmate. And I don't know why he was in a dream, because I've never had a conversation with him. Like, I just know we graduated the same year. Like, when I seen him and I heard his name, I just know we graduated high school the same year. But it wasn't nobody that I ever talked to. But there was only a handful of black people in my school, and I knew everybody in high school. Like, I knew their names. I knew their names and their faces and stuff. And she was like, bet Andre about to pull up. So when Andre pull up, that's when I got out of the dream. That's because now I'm going to be riding in the car with somebody. So that was spirit, like, all right, you see what you needed to see. Hey, I said all this to go into, like, you know, to let the dream down, right? And then my husband has a dream, and he says that he feels like I'm unhappy and that I'm going to be leaving him. That he was like, I might be wrong as fuck. That's how he started the message off. He was like, I might be wrong as fuck. And as soon as he said that, because he sent that separate from everything else, he was like, I might be wrong as fuck. I asked him and was like, you probably are, but go ahead, say what you need to say. And he was like, I just feel like maybe you're not happy. I was like, we just went. I know this sound crazy. This sound crazy. And there are women out here that will let men do things for them and they don't like them, right? But I've never been that type of woman. I never been that type of woman. I don't let men, if I don't like the man, I'm not going to let him do anything for me. I don't even want to give anybody the wrong idea. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care. This is my husband. But if I didn't like him, I wouldn't be with him. Like, I'm not an ugly woman. I'm not a broke woman. I'm not, you know, I'm not afraid to be by myself or be with anybody else or whatever the case is. And I love love. I love love. So I know that, you know, teamwork make the dream work. Okay, teamwork make the dream work, but you might as well make the dream work. You might as well make the dream work with somebody that you like. Okay, I'm telling y'all that right now. Do not be trying to make a dream work because you don't want to be by yourself, or that you have kids with somebody, or whatever the case is. Don't try to make no dream work like that. It's not going to work. Like, everything that you're doing is going to be for, it's going to end up breaking down. You know, the foundation is very important. And so, like, me and my husband, we go on dates. We make date nights. And so this was a couple different things that was playing out. And I think our dreams crossing at the same time. I had just told him yesterday, I said, I was like, we need to plan a date. Like, we've been doing a lot. We've been doing a lot of work. And we went out, you know, and splurged a little bit like 2 weeks ago. We went out, and then we went and got some massages yesterday because both of our backs was hurting. Our backs was hurting from all of the renovations and stuff that we doing, all the moving and regular work that we doing. And so we went and got some massages yesterday, but it wasn't like a couple massages, baby. We went and got our they were putting elbows and all that into our backs and stuff, and we both fell asleep. We both fell asleep. I heard him snoring, and I was in that bitch snoring too. Okay, and I don't like a long ass massage. I don't like people touching me for a long time. So I was like, you just give me 30 minutes and give him an hour, and I got my feet massaged and stuff like that. And this was something like he was like, baby, let's go get a massage. Like, I'm going to get a massage. You want to go? You want a massage? And I'm like, hell yeah. So I stopped packing up the kitchen. Shit, and when I got a massage, but after that, I had to go pick up the kids from school. He had to get ready for work. So it's just like little stuff like that. Like, so we haven't really had a lot of time to, like, I don't know, date. Like, you know, little dates that we be doing and stuff like that. We haven't had a lot of time. We haven't enjoyed. And so I had to tell him and remind him. I said, you know, we're getting rewarded for a lot of the work that we've been putting in. We're getting our kitchen renovated and our bathroom renovated after we've been paying motherfucking rent in this motherfucking apartment for 10 years, 11 years now, because our son is 10, but 11 years we've been paying rent in this apartment. We never had any type of upgrades. And one day I just was like, can y'all upgrade my apartment? And they was like, well, yeah, but you're gonna have to move everything out of here. And I'm like, okay, no problem. So they called me day for yesterday, like, hey, can we come on Friday? No, they called me Wednesday night and was like, we're coming on Thursday. And I had to call them back like, hey, no, y'all can't come on Thursday. They was like, well, can we come on Friday? And I was like, maybe. But then, shit, I looked at that stuff and I'm like, y'all can't come on Friday either. Shit, y'all cannot come on Friday either. I need the whole weekend. The whole weekend. So he did a lot of stuff. And this is like the energy of, y'all know, I'm not exempt from, I love this rain, y'all. I love this rain. I am not exempt. I'm catching so much rainwater right now too, y'all. It's so crazy. Cause this is supposed to be a tornado watch. So anytime I get alerts, I'll be catching the rainwater. And all the rest of this year, if it rains, I'm catching the water. Because this is Scorpio season, Sagittarius season. This is going to be my Mars energy water and my Jupiter water. And then we cutting into Capricorn water, okay? All that. Like, these is nothing but healing factors. Healing. If it rain in y'all city, put them bowls out. Wash y'all hair with that water. I'm gonna wash the shit out of my hair with this water and do some shadow work. I still ain't got my rainwater from this girl that's supposed to be out in Florida. I think she in Florida. I don't know. It's spiritualist. I was so mad I gave her my address. And I sent her money for shipping. Oh, that's a reminder to myself not to be like her. And send y'all stuff. Yeah. At least I'm honest. Look, at least I'm honest. Y'all stuff sitting right up there on that table. I only sent one thing out in the mail. That shit crazy. That whole weekend, listen, all last weekend ran me so hot. It ran me so hot. But anyway, so I'ma send y'all stuff. I am. Yeah, and y'all do not, I'm telling y'all, do not send me any shipping money. Once y'all get y'all stuff, if y'all want a tip, that's fine. but not before. Do not do it before, because I told y'all before, I suck at sending shit out in the mail. I don't want to feel rushed. I don't want to feel none of that. When I get my check, I'm gonna take my ass to the post office, and then I'm gonna send y'all stuff out then. Not a day before that. Not a day before that. Not one single day before that. I ain't even gonna hold y'all to it. When I get my check, my work check, not the other checks that I'm waiting in the mail, but when I get my work check, I will send y'all stuff out in the mail. I just got these chips yesterday too, and they sell. They say November, but they taste a little stale. But anywho, the whole point of this reading, I've been talking about reading. The whole point of this talk, this intuitive message, is to tell y'all to build y'all foundation off of the internet too. To build y'all stuff up off of the internet too. Do not just like solely rely on having an online business, especially if you're a spiritualist. All right. I have a gap in between my wisdom tooth and my other tooth. I have a gap, like a big gap. So if y'all ever see me doing that, I'm clearing out my gap, okay? I'm a human. So anyway, but yes. So build y'all stuff up. Build the foundation. It's something with the foundation of techie stuff that has been coming up in my intuition. I think that has something to do with the electric car. Okay, the electric car. The whole thing with the electric car, the battery dying, but somebody still being able to take it. You know, but nobody can take your gifts. Nobody can take your gifts or anything like that. That was something that Spirit really wanted me to zone in on, was the fact that I said, let me take my gifts out of this car. And it was like bags and stuff. Like, I'm like, how the fuck did all this shit? How am I carrying all of this? First of all, bags and boxes. It was a whole bunch of stuff. Like a whole bunch of gifts or whatnot. And I feel like that's really what I'm carrying around. Like in my heart and my soul. Like I'm carrying ages and years of spiritual gifts. You know, that nobody can steal these. Nobody's gonna, you might steal the vehicle, you might take the platform that I'm on, you know, or whatever I'm using at the moment, but like actually like my gifts, no. And that's the big thing. That's the big thing. That's the message. You know, that's the message. All right. And I had to journal after I had that dream. I had to write it down. And then pick it apart and stuff too. And so that was the other thing too, like picking the dream apart. And Spirit just kind of was like, because at first I was like, damn, is this spiritualist? Because I know the spiritualist that was in my dream. But that is also, that spiritualist, that particular, I won't say what her name is, but that particular spiritualist, she also has the gift of she has one of the same gifts. I don't know if she taps into it clearly, but she has one of the same gifts where she can come up under possession easy as well too. Like how I can come up under possession. It's crazy. I thought I just seen something crossing the street, but how do I want to label this? Because this happens in every pantheon, right? But it's different in each. It's called something different. So I explained this before, where somebody, you know, broke it down to me. It's like a horse. right? A spiritual horse. So the spirit will ride the body, right? And so you're supposed to get some level of protection from your elder. You'll go to, not random, y'all please do not go to like a random elder to ask for protection. Okay, don't do that. Like, get to know the person. And this all right, I'm going back to the beginning. Going back to the beginning. Get to know the person that you're asking for, like, to help you. Or if you need immediately, like if you need immediate help because there's a spirit aggravating your soul, right? And that has hijacked your body, your gift, your tarot cards, your dowser rods, your pendulum, your divination tools, right? And when I'm saying your divination tools, I'm also including your intuitive gifts, okay? Our divination tools are also our crown, our pineal glands, our eyes, our senses, right? Some people having a like clear audience, clear sentient, clear, what is the other one? Clear, I don't know, smell, or I think that's sentient, or whatever the case is, right? Y'all have different clear scents. And so spirits can hijack those gifts. They can. And so it's very important that, like, you work with people that you really trust, because what will happen is, I don't want to tell y'all what will happen. Fuck it. Y'all heard what I said. I said go in, you stop acting like you know everything. And like the internet is going to teach you how to strictly protect yourself. Y'all get on my nerves when y'all be like, oh, my ancestors are going to protect me and I don't need to go to a temple, or I don't need to deal with this, or I don't need to do this or do that, do. When you do, you really do. You never know what your debts are until you actually get like a real reading and you break your shit down. Like, what is your 5 great debts? If you owe a big debt to the ancestors, your ancestors will hijack your path. They'll be like, bitch, no, you owe us this. You owe us this lifetime. You owe us this lifetime. And so you have to be devoted and go towards something that's going to be protective. All right. I have a big debt to the ancestors. I have a big debt to the ancestors. I have a big debt to gods. I don't mind if the gods hijack my path, because at the end of the day, that's divine's work, is to guide me, right? But my ancestors, I don't want ancestors to hijack my path. I don't. I love my ancestors. My ancestors love me, but this is my life. This is my life. I'm doing the work this lifetime. This is mine. It's mine, baby. So we can work together and we can figure something out. I can honor y'all. Y'all can honor me. I can help clear y'all debts up. But you're not going to live curiously through me, and I'm not going to fulfill all your dreams and aspirations. You're going to have to come back down here, and I'm talking to my ancestors. You have to come back down here and do your work all over again. and start from wherever where you left off at. You're going to do that, just like I had to do that. This is part of being reincarnated 11,000 times, okay? But anyway, so there's different things that happen where your body becomes under possession and during different things. And so y'all, there's always learning, and then there's teaching, but there's always learning. Like, there's always learning. We teach, we teach, I teach, other people teach. And it's so crazy. I just had somebody, I'm jumping subjects here, but I had somebody text me and ask me, was I taking this particular class? It's a voodoo class. And they were like, are you taking this voodoo class? And I was like, I didn't even reply back to them. I started to reply back to them, but I just was like, nah. I replied back when I have something better to say, because at the time I ain't had nothing good to say. And it's so crazy because I felt the teacher kind of calling me towards her class. Because I'm one of those students that get into class and I'm I make sure everybody stay, because I'm a teacher myself, so I make sure everybody stay on the subject. If I feel as if the teacher is not, like, let me not, I don't want to use it like that, but let's say that the teacher is teaching A, B, and C. I will take A 1, 2, 3, B 1, 2, 3, C 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's like, I'm a good person to have in your class, because I'm a good person to have in your class. And so I dig way deeper. I never learned just what's being taught to me. I started digging so deep. But somebody had texted me and was like, "Are you going to take this voodoo class?" Which is with a teacher that we studied up under before. And I have nothing against them, but I was like, nah, it ain't for me to get it ain't for me to be doing right now. It's the season of death and rebirth, and cleansing up for some. Let me change that. For some people. But it's also the season of rewards and gifting and enjoyment. And that's the season that I'm in. It's rewards, gifting, and enjoyment. I'm not in the season of death and rebirth. I don't have the shit that needed to die off is dead. It's so dead. It's so dead. And it's never, look, it's so dead that the shit that's dead, there's other spiritualists out here that won't want the shit that I gave death to. Cause they like, as long as, if I can have any part of what it's had, let me go and get it. Let me go try to bring it back to life and put some CPR again around it, or let me run her old stories back, or run her old trials and tribulations back. And all that shit gonna do is just backfire on the motherfucker, because I already removed my energy, aka removed my gifts from those places that I've already did it. So it's like, y'all, I'm not and I had to tell spirit this too, because what the trickster energy wanted me to do was, they wanted me to go check on this particular spiritualist that was in my dream. And this is no spiritualist I ever had a problem with. I never had no problem with this spiritualist. Not for real. Not for real, not like that. And so they wanted me to go and check on this energy, and I'm just like, no. Like, I felt protective. I didn't feel protective over the spiritualists in my dreams. I felt protected over the children in my dreams, over somebody else in my dreams, somebody that had nothing to do with the oldness, So spirit telling me, like, take all your gifts out the car, and we're gonna bring somebody else into your life that needs you. And guess what? You're gonna teach them your gifts. You're gonna expose your gifts to them. And this particular spiritualist, they are somebody who people can get in their energy very easy. So, like I was saying, people could get in this spiritualist, and I don't even want to say like this particular spiritualist energy very well, very quickly, very easily, but she is very spiritually gullible, because she be wanting more. And that's something that divine is really on our heads about, wanting more and not properly doing the work to get more. There's no elder in this spiritualist life, for real. There's no elder, there's no teacher, and there's no discipline. And I don't have anything, like I said, I don't have, this sounds like shade, but it's no shade. I don't deal with people that don't have, I'm deciding not to deal with people that don't have spiritual discipline. If you are hexing somebody for the simple fact that, I I don't know. I just feel like I should be an example for every motherfucking body. Like, if somebody did death magic on me and I ain't hexed a bitch yet, y'all can look at me like I'm weak as fuck or whatever the case is. But I look at it like, shit, my motherfucking karma is so on my ass whenever I do fucked up ass shit that, like, my shit play out for generations. I am my ancestors, right? My shit play out for generations on generations on generations. And I have lines of people that I have to protect, starting with my children's children and shit. So I don't give a fuck what a bitch do to me. I don't give a fuck what a bitch do to me. All I know is that I'm divinely guided and I am divinely protected. So if a bitch think that they got away with doing something to me or stealing from me or hurting my family or doing anything, if they think that they got away with doing something, they're sadly mistaken. Like, I just know how slow karma works. Like, I know how slow it works because I know that the more and more that I pay off my debts from lifetimes ago, the more and more the karma is going to clear. It's going to clear. So when people do stuff to me and I'm actively doing my work and I'm not bothering anybody and they're doing shit, spirit be like, why do you want to fuck with her? So I don't have to do anything. My Durga takes care of it. Kaliman takes care of it. I don't have to go beg to them and say, hey, can you please handle this evil person over here that's doing something to me. They're in every room, every last single room that I'm not in the rooms that I'm in. So I don't have to do that. They're in every dream. And like I said, I was inside of my dream and I dreamed of a deity. Like, how that work? How does that work? To be in the dream and then to dream. Dream while you're in the dream. And then you dream of a deity. So this is telling me that not only am I on the 3D physical here, right? I'm also in my subconscious, tapping in with the subconscious of my subconscious. I don't know the words for these, but this is like a tap in with a tap in. So there's layers to where I am and how I'm talking to God. There's layers to this, okay? There's levels to this, obviously, but there's layers. So the first layer was me here in the 3D, getting into my bed, my high ass bed that my husband have us in. We got a high ass bed. So we're in this bed, and then I dream that I'm on a higher bed. And then when I'm in that bed, I'm sitting on top of my gifts, and I'm dreaming that I'm at another level as well too, talking to a deity, talking to God, talking to divine. So I'm just like, nobody. You can't match this. You can't match this. Y'all got your own path. So even that particular spiritualist, like her trying to take something, and I'm just like, it's not even her. Y'all, it's not her. It's not her. And that was the other thing too, because the old me would have assumed, and this is another thing too, like with Pisces being where Pisces is, it's been hitting with the eclipses, y'all, and then Jupiter also being ruled by Pisces, and Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So the dream states is wild as hell right now, right? And it's a lot of signs that's in Pisces right now. I can't tell y'all everything that's in Pisces right now, but there's a lot of shit that's ending up in Pisces, Cancers, and Scorpio. That water energy, that dream energy is just flowing like this through all the signs. It's just flowing. Fourth house, 12th house, and 8th house is just it's like this through all the signs. And so this energy is just wild as hell anyway. The dream states is amped up. And so this particular dream, even though I dreamed of that spiritualist, it's not her. It's not her. It could be somebody that's using her energy as a doppelganger or whatnot, right? Should I warn her? that, hey, maybe you have a doppelganger playing in your energy that's trying to use your energy in a dream state. It'll come to her later. It'll come to her later once she realized that, you know, like maybe somebody might tell her like, hey, you're playing in my energy and you're trying to steal my energy. Maybe somebody might call her out and be like, are you trying to steal my energy? Because she did steal a vehicle in my dream. But I'm like, it didn't have any gifts attached to it. So you're basically, somebody could be trying, there could be a spiritualist that's trying to hijack somebody that's not even gifted. Like somebody that's not even gifted. They're trying to steal from somebody that's not even gifted. Which is something that happens online a lot anyway. You know, y'all see these people that have a lot of followers and stuff. Y'all see people that have a lot of followers and y'all be like, oh, I'm gonna talk about what they're talking about, and in reality they could be, oh god, it just hit me. It just hit me. It just hit me. So there's like, I didn't even see all these messages. I didn't even see all these messages. I didn't even know we was even, Lori, I didn't even know you were typing. Oh my god, I don't even know what we talking about. She better send that water. I don't fall asleep. I don't even know what we're talking about. That's so crazy. I'm super dead. That's so crazy. I did not even see all the messages. I had the chat pulled all the way down. The last message I seen was when I said, get your lame ass off the channel. That's just so crazy. The Day of the Dead is around the corner. It sure enough is. Okay. That's so crazy. But yeah, so this would just hit me, right? So there is there's a spiritualist probably copying another popular spiritualist that like the person that is the person that's quote unquote popular or whatever, like they probably don't even have no gifts either. I don't even really want to tap into that because now it makes sense. Now it makes sense with what I was getting ready to say. It makes sense with what I was getting ready to say because I don't know why I keep eating these shell chips. They about to be stale. Oh, let's just say for example, right? Let's just say for example, because that particular spiritualist that was in my dream, she not really people know her, but she ain't. They know her. Let me just say it like that. Like they know her, right? It, like she has a good collective. There could be somebody that is very popular trying to, damn, I don't even know if I want to say that, but I guess I'm gonna go ahead and say it. This shit crazy. So like I said, that particular spiritualist that was in my dream, she's not spiritually disciplined. This is why I keep my distance from her. And I had to tell Spirit this too, because I was having a conversation, y'all. I was having a conversation with Divine after I had this dream, right? I'm having a conversation. And anytime I talk to my spirit team talks back to me, right? So it's like we're having not a back and forth, like we're arguing or anything like that. I don't argue with my spirit team, okay? But I'm talking to my spirit team, and they were telling me, like, because I'm like, should I forewarn this spiritualist, right? And they told me, like, you don't talk to this spiritualist, like, you don't talk to her. Why are you gonna talk to her? And I'm like, because she could be getting her energy hijacked. And they was like, um she's not spiritually disciplined, something that she would have to go through. And I just was like, oh, why? Like, why did y'all say that? And they was like, she's not spiritually disciplined. Anybody that's spiritually disciplined, this sound crazy, but you know, anybody that's spiritually disciplined, or that wants to be spiritually disciplined, they're going to go through the steps that it takes to protect their gifts. And this goes back into dream of me going through the steps to protect my gifts, because I clearly had the keys in my pocket where I could have just locked the car door and kept all of the gifts inside of the car, but kept the things, you know, and kept the keys in my pocket. But I do remember in the dream of me saying, like, I did a bird's eye view of the neighborhood, and it wasn't like a bad neighborhood, but I don't know this neighborhood, because I didn't trust to go to any of the houses in the neighborhood, any of the business in the neighborhood. I trusted myself to go where there was high security, like Lori said, where there's high security, where there's divine security at. So I'm not about to trust some rando to handle my gifts. Okay? And this particular spiritualist, she trusts randos to handle her spiritual gifts. And it's been like that. So if you're constantly getting your gifts tampered with, and you're constantly getting your spiritual gifts tampered with, it's because you're keep trusting some randos. If you're constantly going attacks, spiritual psychosis, or you know, like whatever, it's because you keep trusting randos, random ass motherfuckers, to spiritually to have spiritual sex with you, to violate you, to ape you. You're trusting somebody with the most precious thing that divine has given to you. And so I when I'm having a back and forth with divine, and I'm like, well, do I need to, is this about this spiritualist? And y'all, I'm asking my dogs and rides, right? I'm using my divination tools, and I'm like, is this about the spiritualist? And it was like, no, it's not about that spiritualist. And I'm like, is it about me? They're like, no, it's not about you. It's not just about that spiritualist. This is a bigger problem amongst the spiritual community, right? This is when we solely trust just the people online. Like, no, these people that's randomly, that's online. My throat itches so bad. They don't want this message for me to deliver this message the way I need to deliver it. They don't want it to be. But it's cool. I'm telling y'all, the reason why I know they don't want it to be is because nothing was going on in my house. There's no incense flying in my house. There's no nothing. And my cat jumped up on my motherfucking table right when I was talking shit about that damn tower. So there's like false foundations that's falling apart that is supposed to help other spiritualists balance shit out. There's false foundations falling completely apart. And they're falling apart because a lot of people are not trusting the gifts that God gave them in the right hands of motherfuckers. Like they're not. They're not. They absolutely aren't. And I can't protect everybody. And this particular spiritualist, this is somebody that I've had a conversation with. But like I said, I put some distance, but I put distance between us a lot, because I was like, this person is not spiritually disciplined. I know when you pray. That sounds crazy, but you can see it. Not, I don't need to see your face. I don't need to be on FaceTime with you to know whether you prayed or not. Just based off of like some of the shit that people be going through, I be like, this motherfucker could tell me all day, all night that they be praying. And I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You say every other person be playing in your energy, or this person playing in your energy, that person playing in your energy. It's impossible. It's impossible for you to be praying. It's impossible for you to be praying to God and a motherfucker playing in your energy every day, reading your energy every day. So this means that you are putting your spiritual gifts that God gave you in the hands of others constantly. And then in the midst of me having this conversation, I'm like, okay, maybe I need to go check their channel, right? Now, I told my husband about the dream. And he was like, he was like, who is that? And I'm like, it's a spiritualist. I was like, it's a spiritualist. It's not nobody that I really had a conversation with him about. Like, maybe once I told him about something. I don't want to give away too much information because I don't want people to recognize who I'm talking about. But I'm like, maybe once, long time ago, I probably mentioned this person's name. And he was like, oh, okay. And he was like, you talk to them? You watch them? Like, is they on your page? I'm like, they probably on my page, but I know they on my page. But I was like, I don't talk to this person because they're not disciplined. I don't talk to them because they're not disciplined. So they aggravate me. I'm a person that if I tell you to do mantras, it's not because, okay, I want to convert you over to, Hinduism or anything like that. Look, 1111 again. That was my Durga. Look, 1111. So, girl, it's not because I want to convert you. It's because, shit, can't nobody else help you. You don't want to go to your elders. You don't trust the elders. You don't want to go to church because you don't trust the church. Like, you didn't trump all religions up as one, as Christianity. You you solely only believe in your ancestors that's protecting you, and you have a great amount of ancestral debt. So I'm just like, you're in constant spiritual warfare. So anyway, so when I was telling my husband about it, I was like, it clicked in my head. I was like, well, let me show you her page. Let me show you who I'm talking about, so then maybe you will know who I'm talking about, right? Because my husband know everybody, everything, all right? Everything, okay? Gotta do something, okay? Gotta do something. So I'm like, well, let me show you her page or whatnot. So I went to go show him the page. But then it was the first time ever this person was not on my timeline. So I was like, I don't want to go to their page. I don't want to go to their page. And it's so crazy. I was like, I don't want to go to their page. And so he was like, you ain't got to show me. I was like, okay, it's cool. So, but that shit was crazy. Oh, so crazy. Okay, Lori. You said you got to go do something? That's cool. But yeah, I couldn't even, I was like, I can't. But I asked Spirit about it, and they just was telling me like, you know, anything that somebody is like going through or whatever the case is, like when it comes to um their gifts getting hijacked, nobody can take your gifts. And so when I was getting ready to do the reading, I told y'all it's about building on a solid foundation, having something that's solid. Okay? Having something that's solid. 717. All right? Having something that's absolutely solid. And the only thing that's solid is divine. No matter how far we go, no matter how far we turn away, how much we, all of that. No, I meant that person. Oh, okay. No, I meant that person. If they don't want to do anything, there's no way they're taking care of themselves or their ancestors. You know what I realized? Um, Let me not say realize, but what I come to learn about the Bible Gita, right? Whew, yes, you is so crazy, girl. I just hit that person too. Okay. This is something that I read in the Bible Gita. They said that if you pray to God, you go to God. If you pray to other beings when you die, right? If you pray to God, you go to God. When you die, you go to God. If you pray to your ancestors, you go with your ancestors. If you pray to other beings, like let's say for instance that you worship Oshun, right? When you die, you go with Oshun. You get what I'm saying? And so this and I'm just using Oshun as an example, right? Um when you stay at that level, you go with that level when you die, right? So if you're solely taking care of your ancestors and you burn a lot of ancestral money and you do the ancestral rituals 7 days out of the week, 8 days out of the week, all you think about is your ancestors, you're most likely when you die, your ancestors is going to be waiting right there to bring you in. And that's cool, right? That's cool, that's fine. But then you come back on this, right? Then you come back on this earth and you have to remember divine again. So you just keep reincarnating until you remember God and you remember Krishna and you remember divine in that essence. You just keep coming back here. So like my mother does not do a lot of ancestral worship. She doesn't do any. She does not do any ancestral worship. She is Jesus. Okay? She is with the Jesus juice. Okay? And it's nothing wrong with that. I love my mama, y'all. Bible beating Christian. But when I look at her and I think about her and where she going, I promise you, Jesus is gonna be standing right there and be like, okay, Sister Drew. Okay, Sister Drew, come on down, baby. The price is right. Okay? Jesus is gonna be right there. Because my mama always find her a Jesus church, okay? A nice Jesus church, and she become an usher. She end up serving the pastors. She end up doing that, okay? But I only been able to get her to burn some ancestor money and talk to her ancestors maybe 2-3 times in this lifetime, okay? She is not with the ancestors. She is not with the ancestors. I know for a fact she ain't about to go with the ancestors. And then when I ran my mother's chart and her 5 great debts, her biggest debt was to God. And she is really, my devotion comes from her. My devotion comes from her. She is the temple builder. I am a room within the temple. I have a classroom within the temple. My sister has a classroom within the temple. My brother has a classroom within the temple. Okay, we each, and the temple is like a pyramid, like this. My mother built a pyramid. My brother is here, my sister is here, and I'm here, right? And that's exactly where you're going. You get what I'm saying? And that's exactly where you're going. When you transition up out of here, that's exactly where you're going. You're going right back with Krishna. You get what I'm saying? So everybody has their own pathway to go. So I don't want to say that this girl is Like I there's a lot of debt that still need to be paid off, because whenever somebody do something to certain spiritualists online, the first thing that they do is they don't call for understanding. They call to try to, oh well, let me hex this hoe and let me put them in the candle and do this and do that. They don't call for understanding. And that's what's been a big problem with me and other spiritualists, because I be like, listen, y'all think I'm spiritually attacking y'all? I'm not spiritually attacking y'all. I got doppelgangers out here mad. And I understand that. Y'all can't understand that. You think I want something from you? I don't want shit from you. Nothing. So this is another reason why too, like, I had to stay off of people's pages. Like, I'm not gonna support you. I don't want to say it like that. Like, I don't want to support you like that, but let me help you some other type of way. Let me help you some other type of way, because on the YouTube thing, on YouTube, I'm gonna be real honest. I caught my homegirl Amazing Grace. I caught one of her lives in my feed. I watched part of that, but then I got interrupted and I never went back to the thing. I heard what I needed to hear in the reading. That's a reading that I watched. A reading about Lakshmi had came up on my had came up in my feed. Like, Lakshmi has a message for you. That came up my feed. It was like a pick a card thing. I picked number 2. Look, I tell y'all which one I picked. I picked number 2. She gave me confirmation. I listened to that. I didn't listen to 1 and 3 because that's the first thing I seen was number 2. So I was like, I'm gonna pick number 2. And then when I went to the description to see what it was about, they was like, oh, if your birthday is on the 10th, then this message is for you. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm in alignment. Then I picked number 2 because 1 through 10 was number 2. So that was a reading that I watched. Other than that, like, I watched like lectures, and I've been really like tapping into and the Lakshmi thing was doing Diwala, or I'm not sure if I'm the festival. Okay, the Lakshmi festival, the lights. I'm probably not pronouncing it right, but forgive me. Okay, forgive me, divine. You know what my heart is. Okay, you know what my heart was. My heart was all on that altar. So those was the only 2 readings that I've watched. That's it. Other than that, I listen to mantras all day. And even after this dream, y'all, when I had this dream, I told y'all I woke up, it was a storm. I asked my husband, was he okay? He was like, yeah, he had a bad dream. It woke him up. And I was like, all right, well, I put on a mantra and I went right back to sleep. I put on a Lalita mantra, which is my Ishta Diva. Okay? That's mine. Okay? But it's I put that on. That's what I put on. And then I went right back to sleep, and then I woke up. It was time for me to wake up, brush my teeth, wash my face, wash my ass, and get ready for work. Okay? And so, other than that, like, I'm listening to lectures. I've been listening to lectures, like old lectures about the Divine Mother, Lakshmi. Right now I'm reading oh my goodness, what is it called? It's like the Guru Sutra or something like that. Guru Sutra. And so I'm reading that, and it's in a whole different language. And so I'm listening to it, but I'm also trying to read it in a different language as well too. And then I'm watching the Sanskrit channel, okay? Because I'm trying to learn some of the mantras like in the native language. Even though the Divine Mother has 900,000, she owns every language out here. So it doesn't, nobody is going to trick me and say, well, if you learn this mantra in Sanskrit, it's going to be more beneficial to you than if you learn it in your original tongue, which is English for me, right? Nobody's going to trick me out of the blessing. Never again will I be tricked out of the blessing. The Divine Mother told me that I was born in the United States with English as my first language. So if I speak to her in English, she's going to listen to me. She's going to hear me. None of that stuff. Nobody's going to keep me from thinking that I'm not going to receive a blessing if I don't speak Hindu or Sanskrit or anything for that matter. If the lecture is not in English and I can't understand it, I might listen to it. You know, I'm very irritated with one of my channels because I'm like, y'all put, and his name is Randy. I think that's his name, Reindeer, the beer biceps guy. I get irritated with him because I'm like, you put everything in English, but when it comes to this particular thing, you have it in Hindu. And it's a trick. I'm like, why didn't you put it in English? You said everything was going to be in English when you first made this channel. But I was like, it's cool. It's cool. It ain't for me. It ain't for me to listen to. So I don't want to listen to it. So I don't watch it. Sometimes I might sit there and just like listen to it in their language for a little while. But no. And then I just started another Asian show. Okay. The Prisoner of Beauty. I just started a whole nother Asian show. So I'm not listening. I'm not listening to nobody's tarot readings and stuff. And I damn sure ain't about to sit here and learn with or from anybody that's not spiritually disciplined that I cannot tell if they're praying. Because I'm like, it's no way that you're experiencing spiritual psychosis or you think that people are constantly playing in your energy and reading your energy. I don't need to hear nothing you're talking about. Like, if you look unhappy, I don't need to hear nothing you're talking about. Like, nothing. It's showing in your eyes that you're not blessed. It's showing it that you're not the only, you got the gift of breath, but the blessing of breath, but you're not praying. And everybody going through something but you. How does that work as a spiritualist? Y'all, we keep listening to these spiritualists and stuff. And that was another message I was going to drop this week. But I was like, let me just mind my business. But y'all keep, I don't want to say we, but like people keep listening to these tarot readers. And they giving these karmic ass readings. And I'm like, so everybody is experiencing all of this bad shit but you. How are you helping your collective? How are you? You're using them. Y'all are getting spiritually raped. Like, you're letting people read your energy and then you have to buy something from them in order to heal. Like, what? What? So in order to get this motherfucker out of my energy, I need to buy something from you. When at the end of the day, they're really in your energy because you're picking up on their karmic ass. So it's so weird to me. Like, I be trying to understand it, but I don't understand it. And then as a healer, as a spiritualist, as a root doctor, as a doctor, if I see somebody that's sick, I'm going to give them the medicine and the cure that they need. I seen people that were sick, spiritually sick, online. A lot of doppelganger energy. A lot of people getting their energy played in. And I gave y'all rituals for free. All you have to do is, okay, go get the black candle. Go get the white candle. Go do this cord cutting. Go do this banishing spell. But take 3 days out of your life. Get off the internet. Do this mirror magic. Okay? Motherfuckers playing in the mirror. They coming through your mirrors in your bedroom while y'all sleep. Oh, that just reminds me. I need to cover our mirrors. Yeah, they coming through the mirrors in your bedroom while you sleep. I did refreshing, even though I do this quite often, but today I changed the water under my bed. I changed it to rainwater, and I put the black salt on my husband's side, because on my side, listen, on my side of the bed, we good in the hood over there. But obviously on his side of the bed, He like, hey, bitch, I got some shit going on over here. What's going on? You about to leave me? And I'm like, baby, please. I was like, we we are kings and queens, and we're getting exactly what the rewards and awards that we deserve, that we asked for. Like, we have so many upgrades and things that is happening to us that I be wanting to come on here and say stuff, and spirit be like, shh, shh, be quiet, shh. I be wanting to gloat, and spirit be like, shh, just wait, just wait. And I told him, I was like, I don't even know where you picked up that energy from. He was like, I don't know. And I was like, oh, okay, I see what it is. They couldn't touch me. And this is that energy again. When they can't touch you, you know, because we, as a woman, as the woman of this family, the only female in this house, I do more spiritual work than everybody in this house, of course, right? I do more spiritual work than everybody in this house. I pray more than everybody in this house, because, you know, that's just the feminine energy in me. I pray more. My husband do more hours at work than I do. Okay, I go to work the 7.5, 8 hours that's required, and then I come home and I pray. My husband, he'll probably do 14, 15, 16, 17 hours, you know, because not only do he go to work, but he also run our business, okay? And then he also doing stock market and all that other stuff to make sure that we're hella provided for. So I'm just like, he do more physical work, I do more spiritual work. It look like it's gonna flood, but it never flood over here, but it looked like it's gonna flood. This is crazy. I should have told my son he could not go to no party. Like, it's about to rain. But yeah. So and just to be clear, this this particular spiritualist, this is not one of my, I know y'all know, but this is not one of my babies. Look, this is not one of my babies. But just so we clear on that, this is not one of my babies like that. I would have called y'all and said something to y'all. I wouldn't even had, look, I ain't even gonna lie, I probably wouldn't even have checked in with spirit right away. But the spiritualist that I dreamed about is not somebody that I normally talk to. It's not somebody that I normally talk to. And, you know, spirit just kind of forewarned me and told me, like, this is something that person has to go through. And maybe in the future, when they spiritually mature, we'll have a conversation and I'll tell them, like, hey, I actually dreamed about this before. You know, that maybe your energy was going to get hijacked or whatnot. Which happens. You know, it happens. I don't even want to play and pretend like it don't happen. It happens. Before I went and got me a godmom, okay, listen, in every pantheon, there's an elder that can help you. I'm telling y'all. In Santeria, and and voodoo and Palo, all of them, there's always an elder. Just do not, you know, like, make sure that person is genuine. Make sure that person is genuine. Like, in voodoo, Mumbo, she's genuine. But I know there's people that's around her that's not genuine. You know, that's not genuine. I know for a fact there's people around her that's not genuine. She know that it's people around her that's not genuine. So I'd rather just, yeah, you know, yeah, it's cool. Everybody have people around them that's not genuine. I have people around me that don't be genuine. And I'm also not going to let nobody play with them either. But anyway, then Santeria, my godmom, that was another person too that have it's about to be her feast day. I'm too excited. I'm so excited. I'm gonna go let me not say what I'm gonna do. But she's a child of Oya. She was crowned, let me not say a child. Yeah, she's a child of Oya, but she was crowned Oya on her birthday, which happens to also be Oya's feast day too. So it's like a big celebration that her and Oya share. She was born on Oya's feast day. And that's my godmom. Yeah. Told me